Good morning, my dear students. Today we are discussing the type study of starfish, or also it is known as sea star or Asterias, which comes under the phylum Echinodermata. So coming to the classification, so it belongs to the phylum, that is Echinodermata, subphylum Eleutherozoa, class Asteroidea, order Forcipillata, and the genus Asterias. So this Asterias is commonly known as starfish. So the name starfish is somewhat misleading, which suggests an organism to be like a star and fish, but the Asterias lacks both the characteristic. Therefore, it is recently named as sea star. There occur about 150 species of Asterias, of all which have different geographical distribution. Here is the picture of external features of Asterias. So coming to the habit and habitat of Asterias, these are exclusively marine and they lives in bottom, that means bottom dwelling. The most species of Asterias are generally solitary, but under certain ecological conditions such as to avoid the direct sunlight or excessive drying, many individuals may gather at some place for the purpose of protection. Most of them are nocturnal. All sea stars are carnivorous and feed voraciously on almost any available slow moving or sessile animals. The food, which mainly includes polychaetes, crustaceans, mollusks and other echinoderms and even corpses. Sea star exhibits remarkable power of autotomy and regeneration. Auto means self, tomy means that is self-cutting, and also it exhibits regeneration. Coming to the morphology of Asterias, so this shows radial symmetry and pentamerous body. Penta means 5 arms. The body consisting of a central pentagonal central disc from which radiate out 5 elongated tapering symmetrical spaced projection, the rays or arms. The size varies from 10 to 20 centimeter in diameter, though some forms may be much smaller or longer. The color is variable, having shades of yellow, orange, brown and purple. This is very important, that is, the body consists in all the echinoderms, the body consisting of 2 surfaces, that is the upper convex and it is much darker side, that is called aboral or abactinal surface, whereas the lower surface is flat, less pigmented and it is called as oral or actinal surface. The axis occupied by the arms are known as radii, and the region of the central disc between the arms they are called as interradii. So along with that, a well defined head is absent in case of sea star or starfish. Here is the picture, that is, which shows the oral surface. The oral surface bears the following structures. First one, that is mouth. So in the center, you can look at in the picture, the center of the pentagonal central disc is an aperture that is called as actinosome or mouth, present on the oral surface. It is pentagonal aperture with 5 angles, each directed towards an arm. The mouth, it is surrounded by soft and delicate membrane, that is what we call it as peristomial membrane, or it is also called as peristome, and it is guarded by 5 groups of oral spines, or it is also called as mouth papillae. So the next structure, what you found on the ambulacral grooves, here you can see the presence of ambulacral grooves, that is From each angle from the mouth radiates a narrow groove called ambulacral groove, which runs all along the middle of the oral surface of each arm. Next one, that is the presence of two tube feet or podia. So the tube feet are soft, thin-walled, tubular, retractile structure provided with terminal disc or sucker. Here is the picture. You can clearly see the presence of tube feet and also the structure of the tube feet. Each ambulacral groove contains the 4 rows of locomotory, foot capturing, respiratory and sensory organs called tube feet, or it is also called as podia. The suckers function as suction cups to afford a firm attachment on the surface. So next one, that is each ambulacral groove is bordered and protected laterally by 2 or 3 rows of movable calcareous ambulacral spines which are capable of closing over the groove. Near the mouth, these spines often become larger, stouter, assemble in 5 groups, one at each interradius of disc, and they are called mouth papilla. Here is the structure of basic structure of tube feet. So this you can see on the ambulacral groove. So sense organs. Sense organ includes 5 unpaired terminal tentacles which are present on the terminal region and 5 unpaired eye spots. The tip of each arm bears a small median non-retractile and halo projection, that what we call it as terminal tentacle. It acts as a tactile and olfactory organ. At the base of each tentacle occurs a bright red photosensitive eye spot made up of several ocelli. These are the structures which are found on the oral surface. Like that, there are different structures which are present on the aboral surface too. In that, the first one, that is anus. So anus, a minute circular aperture called the anus, which is present close to the central disc, center of the central disc of the aboral surface. Next, that is spines. The entire aboral surface is covered with numerous short, stout, blunt calcareous spines or tubercles. The word itself meaning, that is echinos, that means the spiny. The spines are variable in size and are arranged in irregular rows running parallel to the long axis of the arms. The spines form the endoskeleton of starfish. Next, very important structure, that is mandriporide. At the aboral surface of the central disc occurs a flat, circular, asymmetrical and grooved plate called mandriporide plate or mandriporide between the bases of 2 of the 5 arms. The surface of the mandriporide is marked by a number of radiating, narrow, straight, wavy grooves with pores in them. The mandriporide is thus a sieve-like porous plate and that leads into the stone canal of water vascular system. So, water vascular system, it is an important character of phylum Echinodermata. Here is the picture. You can see the presence of mandriporide which acts as a filter. Next one, papillae or gills between the ossicles. So, Ossicles, these are the small calcareous elements which are embedded in the dermis of the body wall of echinoderms. They form the part of endoskeleton and provide rigidity and protection, and they are present a large number of minute dermal pores. Through each dermal pore project out a small delicate tubular finger-like thin-walled membranous and retractile projection called the dermal branchia or gill or papilla. They have respiratory as well as excretory in function. Next one, that is pedicellary. Besides the spines and the gills, entire arboreal surface is covered by many whitish modified spine-like tiny pincers or jaws called pedicellary. Here is the picture. You can clearly see is the presence of jaw-like structure. That is what we call it as pedicellary. The oral surface also bears the pedicellary. Each pedicellary consisting of a long or short, stout, flexible stalk having no internal calcareous support. So, Asterias possess two types of pedunculate pedicellary. First one, that is stride type and cross type. Stride type pedunculate pedicellary, the picture which clearly shows that this type of pedicellary are very simple. Their two jaws are more or less straight and attached basally to a basal piece. When closed, they remain parallel and meet throughout their length. The two jaws work against one another like the blades of force with the help of three pairs of muscles. There are two pairs of adductor muscle for closing the jaws and a pair of adductor muscles for opening of them or opening the jaws. Here, this is the stride type of pedunculate pedicellary. Second one, that is crossed type pedunculate pedicellary. Here in this type, the basal ends of the two jaws cross each other like the mandibles of a crossbill. So, the basal piece is enclosed within their cross section or cross portions. In this type of pedicellary, the jaws are also operated by two pairs of adductor muscles and one pair of abductor muscles. There are two important muscles here, adductor muscles which helps for closing of the jaws and same time abductor muscles which helps for opening of the jaws. So, both these pedicellary are offensive and defensive organs. They provide protection to gills and general body surface by keeping the body surface free from debris and organisms like sponges and coelenterates setting on the body of sea star. There are two different type of echinoderm larvae. First one, the larvae to study, that is Bipinnaria larva. So, this larva of class Astroidea. So, here is the structure of Bipinnaria larva. So, this larva possesses two ciliated bands. First one, that is pre-oral and post-oral. See here, you can see that in the 9th and the 10th, and you can look at in the picture. The pre-oral ciliated band surrounds the pre-oral lobe of the larva is highly developed. The post-oral ciliated band appears to be longitudinally placed and forms a complete ring between the mouth and the anus. The body of the bipinnarial larva is externally bilateral, but subsequently the internal structures assume asymmetry. So these larvae are free swimming larvae, and the anterior end of the archenteron develops as mouth and blastopore develops or becomes the anus. The pre-oral and post-oral ciliated bands are continued over a series of prolongation of the body called arms. The name and the number of arms developing from pre-oral and post-oral ciliated bands are as follows: posterior-lateral, the presence of 2 number, post-oral 2, posterior-dorsal 2, anterior-dorsal 2, pre-oral 2, ventromedian 1 and dorsomedian 1. The pre-oral and the ventromedian arms develop from the pre-oral ciliated band, and rest of the arms they are developed from the post-oral ciliated bands. The arms are provided with the muscles and they are contractile in nature. The anterior lateral arms are absent. The bipinnarial larva is a feeding larva and leads a free swimming larva. After a short period of free swimming existence, it transferred into the lithotrophic, the next larva stage, that is branchiolarial larva. So here the bipinnarial larva, it is the larval stage of, that is the sea star or the class Asteroidea. Like that, another one larva to be studied which comes under Holothuridae. So these are externally bilateral symmetrical larvae. After the process of gastrulation, the first stage development is the auricularia larva. So this larva does not have any prominent arms, but it consisting of 2 ciliary bands. One is the pre-oral loop and second one is the anal loop. So there is no calcareous rod being replaced by spheroids or rod shaped or wheel like bodies. So this auricularia larva is a free swimming pelagic larva. They are about 15 mm in length. Usually this larva is 1 mm in length and the absence of arms. Alimentary canal is developed, gut with mouth, saciform stomach, hydrocele and right left stomacele, curved intestine and anus, it is present in the auricularial larva. The hydrocele becomes lobulated, forming primary tentacles and communicates with the hydropore by a canal. So this is about 2 important echinoderm larvae. First one, that is the bipinnarial larva, and second one auricularia larva. Thank you.